Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and we're doing a discussion over A Message from the Stars, one of the newest games by Allplay, which we just got done reviewing QE. So I actually heard about I heard about it from you, but then I basically completely forgot that you had mentioned it, and then I watched a video of the Dice Tower comparing this one to Decrypto, kind of like which one does it better and which one Chris and Wendy liked better.
Right.
And I was like, well, I love word association games. And then I bought it. I'm like, hey, have you heard of Message from the Stars? Yeah, I have. I bought it. Yes, you did. So, what do you guys think of A Message from the Stars?
Excellent.
Excellent?
Great game. Fantastic.
I agree.
I would say it takes a lot of the fun and clever guessing game portion that I really enjoy in Codenames.
Yeah.
And combines it with math, which, always a great time for everybody.
No one has a bad time with math.
If you're in the board game hobby, you probably might enjoy
You should
math.
know quick maths at least, or only play storytelling games.
And it's not difficult math. But,
No, it's not. It's so unique. Now, one thing I will say is, I think everyone's, at least in my case, the first game, the rules make sense. Like, what you do in the game makes sense.
Yeah.
Where I got hung up was the strategy.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, what am I giving you? Like, what clues am I supposed to provide besides just a random word?
Yeah.
What do the values mean here?
Right.
But you play, I mean, by the end of that very first game, I was like, I'm seeing why we're giving words back and forth now.
Right. And again, this game is going to work well for people who are pattern recognition type individuals.
Yeah.
They're going to see patterns and they're going to be able to decrypt it faster. So, like, the first time I played this, I was the one who did the letter recognition.
Okay.
Someone else did the clue side of the game to help the other team. And we played really well with that. That basically they were like, "Hey, you just solve the math side of this, and we will solve getting him the words."
Yes, and I am really glad they added that extra layer of the 3 words, because I feel like if it was just us, figuring out the six letters, it would get stale.
Yeah.
But the different columns, one, add a fun element to it, but it adds the codenames aspect that kind of guide everyone to be like, well, what kind of clues should we give? Well, it should contain this letter in it, but it should also tie them to, this column.
Right.
So how do we do that? And it's so unique, but yet familiar.
Yes.
Because there's games like, so I mean, I will compare this to a bunch of other ones, but this isn't really like any of those. But you mentioned Codenames, and the other one it's like a mashup of Codenames and Turing Machine.
Yeah.
But Turing Machine, like, I feel like that one would check people out almost immediately. It's literally just logic. It's like, is this fun? Do you like logic? No. No. It's not going to be fun.
It's not just logic. It's straight up computer logic.
Right.
Which is different than what I call, like, social logic.
Yeah. No, that is true.
So it's not a social deduction game. Like,
Purely
Turing
abstract.
Machine, it's purely abstract.
Like, if you, and that's the thing, it's like, because in Turing Machine, you're just picking a random value of 3 numbers, but you have to apply it to every single rule to get your value.
Right.
And here, it's kind of the same thing. You're picking a random word, but it's like, you still have some categories to put that word with.
Yeah.
And it's not a race, either. It's not like, who can do this faster, which means who's kind of the smartest one in the room.
Right.
Yeah.
And that could be very
And Turing Machine is
demoralizing.
definitely that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's who's the smartest one.
Right. And this is not that. This is, I want to, because it's cooperative. It's not like I'm trying versus you guys.
Right.
And what's also great is I like this game on both sides. I have now played both the alien and the humans, and it was fun for completely different reasons.
Yeah.
Like, because for me, I actually like the humans more than being the alien, which is usually not the case. I usually like being the one.
Yeah.
But I think it's because, this is probably my only negative, is because in the humans I was playing the game the whole time.
Yeah.
The alien is kind of like, here's my word, there's the value.
See, and And that was my concern about being an alien. Actually, was the opposite. Was I'm going to spend like 20 minutes trying to come up with the perfect word every time. And I almost did. But you guys had plenty to think about while I was doing that. And the whole time I was just going, what's a word for what's a word for fabric that has a Z and a B in it?
But I think that's where it's actually kind of perfect for it, because like the humans are puzzling things out, so it gives the aliens enough time to think of, okay, they're struggling with this. I need to get a word that's associated with this, one of these three, and realistically, I need to target this one.
Yeah.
Okay, they're struggling. They need a Z. Okay, what words are with Z?
I think the alien's job gets easier if the humans are doing well. Like, I mean, it's kind of like it has that element of like Mysterium or Obscurio, where it's like, that person is really hung up on this. I need to get him away from that. Like the first game we played when you were like, okay, like at one point I think you crossed off you as like a trust, and I was like, how did he and then you're like, oh wait, no, never mind. And then you were like, G can't be an amplifier. I'm like, how did you get that?
Yeah. But one of the things I will say that is probably is helpful, the alien's first clue is probably super important.
Yeah.
And so far when we played this game, like I played it now a fair number of times, that clue's always been very good. And my gut reaction is that the alien didn't play as good of a first clue problem solve, this game would be way more difficult.
Yeah. My very first game, I was just trying to get them to guess the 6 letters. Because, again, we were trying to figure out how the math worked and why each letter mattered.
Right.
And then it wasn't until the very end that I was like, hey, I finally got a clue that matches the words here. But since then, I've kind of done it the way you've said it. First word has kind of been like, what's the best word I can think of off the top of my head that gets you to this?
Yes.
And then each subsequent card is a clue for each word.
Yeah.
Which again, if this game is too easy with 4 clues, then you can just move 3 clues.
You can move it to 3. That's the only variant they have as a hard mode. I would say, in like the games that we've played, the 4th one hasn't really mattered. I guess it did for you to get us to get the words.
Yes.
But
there was one word I don't think you would have gotten at all without my 4th clue.
It was,
but that's why it was 0 points.
Did smog.
Yeah,
that's right. Because I got us to pollution. None of those other words would have gotten us to pollution.
No.
So maybe that's why.
See, ban I was thinking with pollution, but
that
we fit with several others.
So what do you guys think? Do you think? Well, like, where is the majority of the game here? Is the majority of the game getting the 6 letters, or is the majority of the game trying to guess the clues for the words? Because to me, a majority of the game is figuring out the value of the letters. That's where that's the logic part. And then the word part is just kind of like a afterthought. Almost, it fits. I like it.
But I think for me, that's almost where I focus almost exclusively, because this portion of the game I'm good at.
Yeah.
And so I can help the team more here than figuring out what the clues are to give to you.
And that's what I think, and that's why it's really nice to me that the score is evenly weighted between the two
6
concepts.
And 6, you're right.
So people who are really good at algebra can be puzzling this stuff out, and people who are really good at word association or know the other person well enough, what associations would they make?
Right.
That I mean, you can play it on several levels.
It does. Yeah, it does fit kind of both sides pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, I've only ever played this at 3. Initially started at 4, but one guy was like, no. He just left. He walked in. He's like, you guys have fun.
See, and I would also say the same thought process coming up with a good clue word as letter jam.
Yeah.
Because I have to put myself in the mindset of, when you see these letters, what are you gonna think of?
Yeah.
Shit, that's a bad word. I can't use that word.
Right.
Think of a better one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm also.
It has so many levels of complexity without being difficult.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's all play. So, is there actual mission statement 2-page rule books? Or is that just something that's been a coincidence?
No, I know it's one of their goals is to have
2-page rule
I think
books?
that's like a requirement for when they take a game.
0 printing cost.
Yeah, I mean, and
I think it's supposed to be for the simplicity. If your game can't be explained on basically the 4 pages.
And somehow
it's not.
Somehow, like QE, this one, Kabuto Sumo, which is probably their simplest game.
Right.
Somehow they've made simple games to play that have a ton of depth to it. Like even if the game we just got, we got a perfect score.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it feels like, oh, we got a perfect score. The games, we figured it out. But with this, I don't feel that. It's just like...
No.
Because you're going to have so... I mean, it's technically infinite replayability.
Right. Yeah. No, I like this a lot for it. There's a lot of all-play games that are good. They have a lot of trick-taking card games that are pretty solid.
Okay.
And so, again, their goal is 2-page rule books. And this one is just...
Are they based out of... Where are they based out of?
Somewhere in Missouri.
Yeah. Okay, I thought it was Missouri.
Or Kansas. Overland Park.
I thought it was Kansas City.
But Greater Kansas City.
They're in the... Yeah, Greater Kansas City.
I think they're in Johnson County, but...
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I will say, I think this is just... Like, if I want to play a game where I really have to think, then I want to play this. Where, like, Turing Machine, that's a game where, like, oh, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to think.
Yeah, it's like, because I own Turing Machine, and my friend has it too, and he felt a little bit like this one, as he did with Turing Machine, where he really likes it, but it takes a little bit to kind of make the... Because you're not constantly thinking like that all the time, so you have to kind of, like, flip that switch in your brain to be like, okay, I'm going to be on the spectrum today.
Right.
Let's see what I can do.
Right.
Which is exhausting, honestly.
Can be.
But this it's light. It's like it's still here. You still have to think about the logic of it, but you're not like.
And 6 may be a terrible score, but it's like, hey, we got 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're also
got half of it right.
you're relying on other people. Where like Turing Machine, it's just you, so it's even more work. You're like, oh, what's the best number? It's like, oh, I could do easy and prove something one.
Yeah.
But I'm wasting an entire round without the other two just to prove one.
That is very
answer.
true. Because you get no other information in Turing Machine, right? Except what you get.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you don't get to see what everybody else does.
That's right.
It's literally it's a solo game that you're racing against other people.
Yeah. So I guess one thing I'm also trying to figure out, I guess, like, why does the alien have a board?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think that's because there's team and co-op options.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. Which I haven't played team.
Yeah, I haven't played teams.
That makes sense. Because I think for setup, it's like, give the alien a board, and then it's purple. Oh, it's for the purple team. I'm like, why is it purple for the alien? Have you guys played Decrypto?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
A long time ago.
So, and I actually I played Decrypto and this in the same night. Why do you think they would compare those two? Because after playing all this, I like...
Yeah, I don't know why you
Leather Jam makes more
two.
sense, Codenames make more sense than Turing Machine, but Decrypto...
I just don't remember Decrypto well enough.
Decrypto was basically you had 3 words, or you had 4 words, sorry, and then you're given a code that's like 2, 3, and 4. So you have to give your teammate clues that are good enough for them to guess, but not good enough for the other team. Because you tell the other team the clues, and they have to try and guess your code.
Well, then I guess I would see that as a similar mindset of what's a good clue without giving too much away.
Yeah, so the word association...
I guess so.
That's why, but...
Maybe because it's hard to find comparisons, because this is really a radically different spin on a theme.
Yeah, like...
Yeah.
On 2 themes, actually.
Well, to me, it's combining 2 things.
Yeah.
So it's combining the whole... the Planet X.
Search for Planet X.
Search for Planet X and Codenames. It's realistically, to me, it's combining those 2.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we're playing co-op. Neither one of us is against the other players.
Exactly.
We're all trying to work on the same thing. So realistically, you're giving us 4 clues because of yours. But it's not just this. You're also trying to help us solve this, which you have that information.
Which is fascinating because, it's not like both parties are doing... Like, you don't have 6 letters you're trying to...
Yeah, I never felt like we were against you.
Yeah, the entire time, the humans, their words are to basically double down or get more information from the alien. It's like, well, what do you mean? Like, okay, we think Z is the letter. There was no reason when you made the joke of being like, oh, what if you had Z, for us to put zoo and be like, here you go. It didn't matter, like... Because you have 4 rounds, like, you don't have to do the one good word and then 3 rounds of each column. If you can find a good word that combines both,
right?
And it's like, oh yeah, we kind of have a throwaway card, but we don't really know what the amplifiers are.
Right.
Yeah, I just think the variety is awesome. The amount of information that the humans have is also great. Like, the color coordination is fantastic. If it was all just like the same color, but like it's like, oh, we pretty much know it's A. That means it cannot be EILMN. You know, just all those are gone. So I think this is a really good gateway game into. Well, I don't know if I like logic puzzles. Okay, well, it's cooperative, so if you're on the humans, we can help you understand why things are.
It's also a word game, so
and it's a word game,
right?
If you like that aspect better, you can focus on it and start picking up on the algebra.
Yeah, right. Which I love. Like, I love word games or word association games.
Yeah. To me, this one's fantastic.
Do you guys have any negatives?
Why don't you mention the app?
Yes, thank you. I should have opened with that. God, get the fucking app.
It's free.
It's free. It's all play games. Like, it's going to be the companion section on that. This is the only game on it, but oh my god, is it like a must. It's not a must. Like, the game's playable without it, but...
But it's good.
All you do, what you do is you put in your trust, amplifying suspicions, and you type in the word, and it gives you your value.
Right.
One, it eliminates double guessing, where it's like, there were many times where I had like an L in a word, and I just kept checking.
Right.
I'm like, where's the L? And you just, weirdly, the letters blend together for no reason. It's like, okay, here you go. I hope.
It perfects your math, so you don't have to worry about math.
Yeah.
Which is critical.
But to me, the better thing is, like, at least, and again, whether you want to consider it cheating or not, you can put in values, start figuring out the words, and start figuring out values, like, like for band, like, yes, it's simple enough to do the math.
Right.
But, hey, I need to get them amplifiers, but here's how to do it.
Yeah, like, one of my words was student. I couldn't find one, so I think I did degree. That was a 0, and I'm like, that's not good, because it had the amplify, but no trust in it, so it's 2 times 0. Okay. And I don't think that's cheating, because you could do that by hand.
You could do it by hand.
It would be cumbersome, but you could do that.
And if you made a mistake, it would kill a game.
That is true. If you like forget, like, oh, that was supposed to be negative. Whoops. Last round, that was supposed to be negative. Yeah, it's just... And honestly, it makes the game go by way quicker. Because it allows you, as both sides... Well, technically, maybe the alien for the most. But, like, I was able to whip up, like, the next clue. Here's one I just gave you. Before you even give me one back, I already have one.
Yeah, think about 4 or 5 different choices.
Yeah.
And then pick the best one each turn.
Yeah, so highly, highly recommend the app.
Yeah, because, I mean, you could have a notepad over here, start getting like 4 clues based on what the conversation is. Because again, it's co-op. It's like, I already know this value is this. I need to get them to an on negative number, because they've kind of figured out the amplify, but they aren't getting trusts.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's eliminate that problem.
But on the other hand, I'm going to say, why don't the humans have an app?
I guess they could.
I mean, what would they have an app for?
They would be able to do the same thing, but also keep track of your guesses and assumptions. And so it comes up with a score based on what your guesses and assumptions are.
That'd be really complicated for the app.
I also feel like that kind of ruins the game for the humans. But that takes out the entire reason why the humans are playing. Yeah,
think about how many trust values we had and what that possible then conclusions would be.
Well, no, it would not be that difficult to write. It may be difficult to interpret.
Yeah. So that's why I mean by I'm not like writing apps would not be hard for that, but
keeping things organized on a screen instead of on a dry erase board, which worked perfectly well.
Yeah.
But I mean, the same thing could be done in an app.
Yeah, you could do it in an app instead of having the dry erase board, but I don't know that would help you all that much.
And maybe on a screen that small.
I guess at least for me, as the alien, I don't mind having the app because all the math is really on the aliens portion. Yeah. And for the humans, they're the ones doing all the logic for it. So if you had the app kind of do that for you, you kind of ruin...
Well, I think...
No, it wouldn't draw conclusions just to keep track.
So the thing would be like, when I assigned A as a 1, and then we make that assumption, right? So I did it on paper, right? So how I did was I put pluses above letters that I did, and then...
I see.
And then it could track all of the words and recalculate the score when you make different assumptions.
Yeah.
And verify...
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So all it's doing is, it's still doing the math. It's basically, instead of me doing my pluses and then figuring out that math over here. It's doing the same thing you're doing. I put A, C, and L, and then I put basically I can type in the words like, oh, but that math doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, just with the app that we're got, I was like, this could be an app game.
This could be an app game.
The whole thing could be just a computer game.
Oh, yeah.
Most logic games are.
That's true.
I mean,
that's why computers were invented to begin with.
In essence,
I don't want to do this anymore.
In essence, it's an advanced version of Wordle.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Combined with the guessing, the clues,
right?
time
Yeah,
to,
with the words. So yeah, any negatives? Again, my only one is like, and it's probably the outlier, but if the humans are really good, or I mean, if the alien gives like a really good clue, then it's kind of like it gets easier.
Yeah, but the game then ends quickly, and you just move on to the next one, and you play again.
Yeah.
So, and if your group is all MIT level physicists anyway, or whatever,
they'll never get through one round.
Whatever it like,
go play Turing Machine.
Yeah,
go do the extra hard app.
Then this game's not going to be for you. But realistically, the odds that you're going to have just geniuses in the room anyway is unlikely.
Yeah, they don't play games.
Yeah.
Well, no. Too busy getting that sweet sniz, right? Geniuses get a lot of sex. Is that? Do I have that right?
Hang out with hookers, so that's what I read.
So yeah, because it's like you put this in the lump of all the games that we've mentioned, and it still stands out.
Yeah.
Because like if you think about word association games, it's like, yeah, I can play all these in a row and have a great time. I can play Codenames, Leather Jam, Subtext, which is more drawing but still word association. Okay. And then this one, and it's like, yeah, I'm having a great time. Decrypto. Yeah. Brett, did you have any negatives?
What's the player limit?
6. Why'd I grab that? Nope, that's not this. 8+. It says 8+.
Because it's teams. You can do teams.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because basically you're still playing co-op on one side and the other
so more
side.
than 3 or 4 humans, and it's going to get cumbersome.
Yeah, well, for me, it was like, I feel like if you are hitting 4, you should probably do teams. I think if you're not doing teams, 3 was good. In fact, at one point, I was like, this is probably really good at 2.
See, I haven't played, that's what I'm wondering if it actually plays well at 2.
Because...
Depends on the human, really.
Yeah.
Because they're doing...
Yeah, like, for example, there were times, if I gave a word and one person's doing all the math, then the other person is just kind of sitting there. It's like, oh, yeah, no, you figured it out. I agree.
No, I didn't feel that way when I was letting you take over.
Yeah, honestly, the times I've played where, like, I take over the map. Like,
I'm just constantly thinking of good clue words that also
Yeah.
have some of these letters, but not too many of these letters,
Right.
or in the right combination.
I guess that's because for me, a lot of the game
That's why I kept
is
showing
the
him-
math part,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm just like,
think
well,
about this-
I agree with you. So
If you have lots of people who are math people and not the word association people, then maybe you have a problem.
Well,
but
I always get 6.
Yeah.
yeah.
6 or 7.
But again, I don't see any reason why 2 would not work.
Yeah.
No, it should.
I think it should.
Yeah. Other than that, Brett, did you say at the very beginning you're like, I already see a problem with the game?
Yes, I did.
Okay, what was that problem?
Not a flaw in the game.
Oh.
A flaw in the way that I'm probably going to play.
Yeah.
Which is, and I'll bring it up as a possibility, is the possibility of analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
Especially for the alien. Because
Yes.
they have the responsibility of, well, if they're having to do the math, that's just almost doubles the workload.
Yeah. The way
Coming
I've
up
done
with
it...
clues with these letters, not too many of these letters. And fabric! How do I...
It's
It's got to
yeah.
have a Z, and it's got to have fabric.
Yeah. I think for me, if anyone is having that issue playing this, the way I've done it is I've tried to come up with a word and not care about the value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because whatever the value is to me is still information that's given. So it's like,
Especially
okay,
the early part.
Oh,
yeah.
The
And
alien
so
should almost just exclusively be crying for clues.
yeah, it's like here's a word and it has its value 12. That's high. Okay, here you go. But then you could have people who are looking at the things like, you put subjugate. It's like, no, that wasn't tied to any of those letters.
But maybe that actually can be a positive. So again, if you have people who are heavy on the math side, and you have the one person who's good at word association, you throw the word association player as the alien and the math people on the other side.
Yeah.
And then realistically, because those are the two games, and realistically, the alien really shouldn't be caring about the math other than some strategy with trying to get certain things, like once you start playing,
for me. It wasn't about the math. It was just about how do I fit these letters,
right?
But not like pizzazz. What a great because that's going to be so ambiguous.
I know, because it's times whenever I was like, okay, they're really not getting G as the amplifier. Okay,
right.
Degree, that's value 0. Great, that's not going to help them get the amplifier. Because I guess there's literally, I think they heard me slap that. There's no rules on the words you can give as long as it's none of the 18.
Yeah.
So it could be, I mean, you could literally just be like, go.
Right.
There you go.
I mean, so like we had temperature for one of ours and we did Celsius.
Yeah.
Like, again, to me, it was like, I want you to guess temperature. I'll put Fahrenheit or Celsius, and I really don't, at that point, it's still a lot of letters and I can get information if I have some ideas what this is going to be.
Yeah.
So this one's familiar yet unique.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a blast. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what are you guys giving A Message from the Stars?
I would say 10.
10?
That's 10 for me.
10. I'm slightly a little bit lower at a 4. No. Because I fucking hate this game.
9.6.
I am at a 9. And the only reason it's not a 10 for me is because I do, and this could be just because of the group that we, like the games we just played, I want it to be a little bit harder.
Yeah.
That's why I like Codenames so much, because I suck ass at it. And that's fun for me, because I'm just like, it's funny for me to be like, Hippo 7. It's like, how? Okay, let me explain at the end of the game when you get none of these. Because that's just fun.
It was round. It was wet.
Well, it's funny. I think I gave...
There was an anime that featured a hippo in 57.
There was I played Codenames Duet, and I think I got Hogwarts 5. And what I did as my clue was the Hogwarts was for one clue, and then I linked all the other words to that one clue. He's like, "You're linking cards," and I'm like, "Right." It's like none of the other ones have anything really to do with the first.
But if you get the first one right, the rest are easy.
Yep. So no, I am not good at these games, but they are just so much fun. But yeah, I kind of like. It's like
I see what you're saying.
Because kind of like So Clover. Have you guys played So Clover or Just One?
Just One, yes.
You haven't played Just One?
I don't think so.
Really?
The one where you like one person is blindly picks a number of a word and everyone has to come up with one word. Oh shit! And then if people share the same word, they erase it.
Nope.
Oh shit! Well, that's another very very good party-esque word game.
Yeah.
But those kind of give like, how many did we get right? 7. Okay, this is your score. It goes up to 20.
Right.
I wish this game kind of did that instead of just being like 12 is your goal. Oh well, we hit 12.
Right.
All right. so yeah, it feels good to be like, yeah, we did it. But then I'm like, I want it to be a little bit harder. But I guess it could be
3
just
rounds.
Huh?
3 rounds.
That's true.
Yeah, 3 rounds, and I think that's just not all play is more of an entry level.
Yeah.
Gaming company, kind of the entry to mid, and so you're not going to get Turing Machine.
No, and I don't want to. I have Turing Machine, and I have
or Search for
played
Planet X. You're not going to get that level of we have to really think about that.
Yeah, I think really I just would like there to be like a score matrix, kind of just say, hey, how well did we do? Oh, we didn't get the best score, or hey, this time we did. That's awesome. And I guess that is what we did here. But the first time we got 10.
Yeah,
I think that was our first game. I don't know. It's still fantastic.
I mean, 10 was the lowest I've gone in this game.
Really,
so far.
I think but that's the other thing. My very first game with all of us as new players got 9.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, that's almost 12. That's pretty good. Yeah. So, but that's literally it. The game is fantastic otherwise, and I'm glad it can just be lumped in with all those other. I mean, because this is. a good party-esque game.
Yeah, that's the way.
Like, could you imagine being that guy at a party, everyone's drinking, you pull out Turing Machine, you're not being invited back.
Depends the party.
That's true. Yeah, the genius sex party we were talking about. Exactly. Yeah, they have those all the time. Anyway, so that's our thoughts on A Message from the Stars. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.
Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.